I bring up money and they start to change the topic. When I say I'm gang related, I ain't talking logic. So come and say it to my face, cause I ain't with the gossip. My girl is from Jamaica, cause the best come from the tropics. My room is filled with so
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's me, your boy Bakerboy.
It's your boy Young Cicero. How you guys doing?
You know, we here with another podcast, the MNO podcast. Break that down to them one time, man, so they can understand what this MNO thing is really about.
Yeah. Way back when I first started, back in 2017, when I first started making music, like everybody knows, we recorded my first song here. And, I developed that music making relationship. We had a relationship before, but that was like the music making relationship. And then,
oh yeah, let's speak on that relationship before.
Yeah.
This is my fifth grade football team quarterback.
Fifth
my
grade,
my
bro.
Point guard, my home run hitter,
everything, bro. Goalkeeper and defender on the soccer team.
Soccer,
man.
hey, we did it all back.
Yeah, we go way back, man.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
yeah, and then I sent you like a verse one day, and I was just like, yo, we gotta do a song together. And I named it MNO because where we're from, Miami and Opelika. And then it just stuck. It rolls off the tongue nice and easy. You know what I mean? The MNO show. It's easy. So that's where the name comes from.
Definitely. And we've connected even from back then. I saw his leadership skills and knew that you were something special when it came to sports and everything else that you do, man. I like that you put your heart into it. I love how you doing the music, and I'm proud of everything you do, and I support you 100, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
But yeah, man. So today we coming with some different topics. We trying to keep it different, keep you guys entertained and in tune. So what we got today, man?
We got some good stuff, man. We got King Jong Un, or however you say his name. I never say his name right. Apparently he's dead, but then apparently he's not dead. We got this whole Last Dance MJ thing going on, which I'm kind of excited to talk about. NBA is finally gonna start opening their gyms back up, which is a good sign. That means ball's coming back. I can't wait.
Bruh, I'm shocked that more NBA athletes don't have their own gyms.
Like, you mean like their own home gyms?
Yeah, to work out. Like, I saw a lot of these guys posting that they couldn't work out or couldn't have where to go, and I'm like, y'all making a personal
Is it like big stars though, or is it like the 10th guy on the bench kind of players?
I would say a lot of the middle players, which you would think would already have these.
Like role players and stuff.
I think that they're making their personal trainers rich, bro. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, a lot of them go to the gyms and they go to all these different places, and I just assume, which it's just me. I'm not rich, but I just assume that they all had like a nice gym at the crib, and most of them don't, and that was really surprising.
Wow, that's crazy.
Definitely.
This is one I'm actually interested to talk about because I feel like this is probably this is gonna be the one that people are gonna be interested in the most. I feel like it's who's got it worse on social media, men or women, like we was talking about it off camera. Then we music heads, we got to throw in the music topic. We got old school hip hop versus new school. Which one is more impactful? And then we got the whole Aaron Gordon diss track on DOA. That's gonna be a fun one.
Hey,
that's
a lot of people going ham on Aaron Gordon, man. But
they don't even realize it's not that serious.
Yeah, it's not serious, man. It's quarantine time, and he had me rolling. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. It's called 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
So if you have not heard it, he's basically going at D Wade for giving him a 9 out of 10 in the dunk contest. The boy got robbed, some people say, but it's funny, man. So check it out. And it's not. He's drinking Wade's wine.
Yeah, literally the opening
video,
scene, bro. The opening scene, he's literally pouring Wade wine into his cup. That should tell you right there automatically it's not that serious, man.
Not that serious at all. So shout out to Aaron Gordon for having fun, man. And Wade already heard it, and he laughed it off. It's nothing serious, but it's really hilarious to me to see.
Yeah.
But what's up with this short Korean, man? Like, how hard is it to verify somebody
of that stature? You know what I'm saying? Like, how hard is it to check that? If God forbid Obama died right now, the whole world would know right now.
And my thing is that if he's not coming out and saying anything, then it's a reason why. So
I was gonna say it's all smokes and screens right now.
Yeah,
something going on over there in Korea.
And I think the reality of it is that maybe it's something that they don't want to release, but I do not think he's dead, because if he was, it's not that hard.
You got to think about the reason that he said he's dead. They said a failed heart surgery. It's like, how often does a failed heart surgery happen on a leader of your country? You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. I mean, if it is true, you know, I mean, failed heart surgeries do happen. I'm not trying to say they don't happen, but it's like on the leader of your country, I'm pretty sure he has like every resource available to make sure that doesn't happen.
And, you know, a lot of people have their opinions about him, but it's hard to speak when you're not from that.
It's hard to say whether he's good or bad because we don't live over there.
We don't live over there. You know what I mean? And they get to see things that we don't see because it's one thing for people to sit here. If we judge them by him, then that's like us being judged by Trump. You know what I mean?
True.
And I'm sorry, I feel like Trump is smarter than people give him credit for. I think
agree.
half of the stuff he does is intentional, and I
agree.
think it's
100%.
to get a response, and we give it to him every single time.
Yeah,
it's not like he's dumb. The man been rich forever. People, let's make this clear. Like he's not. A lot of people don't know, but Trump has been around. Like he's always been on TV. When I was some of you guys' ages growing up, like. He was already on TV.
Reality kind of guy. Bro, those Trump Towers over on Sunny Isles, they didn't come out of nowhere, bro. Like,
and he's been around. He's been the same guy. And I have to give him credit for that. No matter how much you dislike Trump or not, he's always been
that's why so many people were so opposed to him being president in the first place. It's not because he didn't really have any kind of background in the government or anything like that. It's because of where he came from.
That's where he came from.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't that kind of background is not going to be lightly accepted as a president. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's no different from Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know.
Being a government in California.
Yeah. To me, you know, people never took him serious from the beginning anyway, but let's be honest. When you got that much power and money, like, you've been around enough people that all it is a popularity contest at the end of the day. And who was more likely to be president at the time, Hillary or
Trump?
Trump.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who don't like, and this is what it is, and I don't think a lot of people understand, a lot of people may not like Trump, but they still don't want a woman as president.
Which sucks terribly, by the way.
Terribly. But that's what it is. We should have a woman
in president
by now. You know what I mean? And that right there is a reason why he won to me. Because you have people who despise Trump, but they still don't want to have a woman as the president.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why he's in there. To me, fought the other people who was running against him. They lost.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is.
But let me ask you this though. So the background, we all know the background he comes from, the whole reality, you know, TV stuff and all that, right? You think his background in general is not a background that's easy to accept as a president because he comes from TV, or because people just don't like Trump at all? Because you think about it, Ronald Reagan was an actor before he became president.
Exactly.
And people didn't necessarily hate Ronald Reagan.
Well, me personally, I want my commander in chief to be military.
Okay.
I've always felt that way.
That's fair.
I always felt like the person who's in charge of the country in that level should have some type of military background or affiliation or something.
Okay.
Because I just feel like those things go hand in hand. Now, does that mean that you have to have that to be capable? No.
You could always find somebody to you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They always say you don't have to know everything. You can hire people who could do what you don't know how to do.
Exactly. You know and then in that case, you look at the qualifications of what it takes to be a good leader. And like you just said, Trump Tower's been successful, so he's been leading and doing it the right way.
People got to give more respect to Trump. He's a smart businessman for sure.
Always been, man. I mean, he's been talked about since I was a kid.
Yeah,
he's always been relevant, whether you knew about him or not. So, you know, it's one of those things to where I don't think people give him enough credit because of some of the ignorant things that he says. But people have to understand that a lot of those things are calculated. They're not done by accident.
To get a response. If you think about it,
definitely.
Right? I would say since Obama, you know, because he became president in 2008, right? So Obama and Trump, especially now that we got the whole world right here on our phones, you know what I'm saying? Every move Trump makes or everything he says is bringing so much more attention to the actual politics that he's running right now. Young people are paying way more attention to politics right now than they ever did before.
Which is a great thing,
you know
and I give the credit to that for social media.
Yeah, social media.
Credit to, you know,
I would credit Obama as well. I feel like he planted the seed because he became very active. He was on top of social media when social media was blowing up. He used it to his advantage.
Not only that, he's real approachable and easy going. So the topics that were relevant to the younger generation, he was involved in. You 100%. Know, especially with sports and everything else.
I was just about to say sports,
and to me, that's where the disconnect came from with Trump. because if you remember when the Warriors won, and the whole thing with him and Steph Curry, and
and then I think was it the Patriots as well when they won it, like half the team didn't want to go to the White House or something like that.
And people try to
isn't he cool with Robert Kraft or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Which is not surprising, you know what I mean? But people have their own opinion, so it's one of those things that is really subjective to how you view him. But at the end of the day, don't think he's dumb by no means.
He is not.
What you think about the MJ documentary, man? The Last Dance.
All right, before I tell you what I feel about it, who you think is the GOAT? You think LeBron?
Kobe's the GOAT? You already, come on, bro.
All right, so let me rearrange the question.
And I'm not saying that. I need people to understand that. And you know me, I've been saying that forever.
I know.
No sympathy.
And I love me some Kobe.
Because he, I'm not saying it's because he's no longer with us. God rest his soul, his family, Vanessa, the girls, everybody. I'm a diehard Kobe fan, and the reasons that I say that, I will get to in a minute. So I'm going to let you go.
All right, so let me rearrange the question then. MJ or LeBron, who you think's better overall as a player? You got to throw everything into their legacy and everything.
Wait a minute. As a player? Or
as a player. And then that's why I say throw in their legacy as well. Because your legacy helps define who you are as a player.
Wow.
Classic MJ versus LeBron documentary kind of debate, whatever.
As much as I get on LeBron, I have to be honest.
I think LeBron is better than MJ.
LeBron's body of work, I would have to say, may put him above MJ.
You could say you think about the MJ supporters. You could say it.
But when I know from what I know of MJ, watching him grow up, watching him in those moments, and everything that's in the documentary, my generation grew up in. So as we're watching it, we're laughing because we I remember that. You know what I mean? The way the league was back in the day was so different to me that it's hard to compare. My problem with putting LeBron over Jordan is that I feel like there would not be a LeBron without Jordan because of the fact of the impact of Jordan had on everybody.
So you feel there wouldn't be a LeBron without an MJ because of MJ's legacy or because of who MJ was as a player?
Both, because who MJ was as a player he was the first of his kind. People like to compare him to Dr. J, but Dr. J didn't have everything that Jordan had. Dr. J was just the first cool person. He was the first cool.
The first mixtape player.
He had the Chuck shoes. Like he was the cool one. Jordan came into the league and went from rookie of the year to MVP like instantly. Like if you listen to people other people in the league that were Isaiah Thomas, Larry Bird, Magic, they always they knew he was coming already from day one. With LeBron, you didn't have that.
That's true.
When LeBron came into the league, he was just like another young guy trying to come up.
Had to learn his way.
And what the reason, and this is what leads me back to my reason for putting Kobe above both, is because Kobe played in both generations.
Both generations.
And because Kobe played in both, we saw Kobe at 18 going at Michael. No hesitation, going at Michael. We never got that from LeBron coming in.
But
LeBron had to develop that.
That's true. He did have to develop that. He learned that when he got here. He
came down here and learned that, which I think we need to give more credit to Pat Riley and D Wade because people forget LeBron came here to learn how to win.
He was a great talent who didn't know how to win. Yeah.
Yes.
That's fair.
So when you try to compare those top three to me, that's what puts Kobe above them both because he played in both generations, and we saw how Kobe went at LeBron. And we saw how Kobe went at Jordan, and he never ever wavered in his determination to be better than both of them. LeBron shied away too many times for me. It's too many situations where he's just shied away from Kobe at times where it might not have been the biggest stage, but it was our chance to see and settle the argument on several occasions.
You're talking about the finals, right?
Not even so much.
They was on collision course. I think it was in 09, was it? What year was it that LeBron lost to the Magic in the playoffs? Was it 09?
I think
it was 09 because I think that was the year the Magic went to the finals and they lost to the Lakers.
It might have been 10. Because
Nah, the Lakers beat the Celtics in 10-7.
then it had to be 09.
It was 09.
And that's what bothered me, man, because it was like we had the commercials. You know what I mean?
The little bobblehead commercials.
We had all of that.
Yeah.
And LeBron didn't get there. Kobe got there. He held his end of the bargain. But not even so much as that. The All-Star game bothers me more than anything.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, like the highlights of like Kobe blocking LeBron and stuff like that.
It ain't even just that. It's several occasions, and I'm going to put together a highlight reel. There are several occasions where I will show you where LeBron shied away from Kobe at those times. And then we had that one year where Jordan came out and said right before the game that he picked Kobe over LeBron. Kobe took it personally as a matchup. LeBron shied away from it. To me, that was his chance to at least tighten the argument.
Okay.
Overall body of work, of course it's going to go to LeBron.
He's going to go to LeBron.
But those are my reasons, you know. And I have several more reasons when it comes to Kobe.
Nah,
This
Kobe's
is
a great
turning
pick.
to the Kobe show. So,
Nah,
you know.
Kobe's a great pick though. But let me tell you why I think if we going 1-on-1, I'm gonna take MJ over LeBron. But it's like LeBron could easily beat MJ because LeBron is a bigger player.
You would think that, but this is the problem with that.
But LeBron is not necessarily a 1-on-1 player. So that's why I said I wouldn't be. I got MJ winning, but it's like it's gonna be like a 21-18 to me, a 21-18 kind of victory. Because MJ's gonna have a hard time just guarding LeBron's big ass body. LeBron like 6'8", 260. Like Michael never really had to guard people like that when he was playing.
But you know what I put into that play that you know what adds to that people don't ever stop to think of?
What's that?
It's that intimidation factor.
When you think LeBron's gonna sit there intimidated?
When you hear people talk about me and Jordan, they talk about it felt like Jesus walked in the
Black
room.
Jesus, yeah.
They psychologically have already lost.
And this documentary's feeding into that, by the way.
Yes.
This
Just
MJ
like
thing.
when Tyson said Tyson had already defeated most of his opponents before they run the bell, before they got in the ring.
Yeah.
It was in their head. If you ask anybody who guarded Jordan back in the day, they all said the same thing. It's like, man, don't get shook, don't get broke. They put it in their own head that you're going against greatness. And when you have a person who idolized the other one, I have to give the advantage to the other one because Jordan didn't idolize LeBron. LeBron idolized Jordan.
Okay.
So if you would have put
That's why he
him
took
in a
number
one-on-one,
23 coming out of high school and stuff like that.
yeah. So if you would have put him in a one-on-one, I feel like, you know, that part plays a big part in it because, you know, I heard dudes say they was shocked at how good he smelled. You know what I mean? Like it was like Jordan's cologne just make you freeze.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he had that aura that I think plays a big part in that. Kobe never fed into it because Kobe wanted to be that so badly that he didn't care. You know what I mean? So it was just one of those things to where, it could be debated forever. But I need people to understand it does not take nothing away from LeBron.
From LeBron either.
LeBron is awesome. He's great. And a lot of times in these conversations, we get caught up in dissing LeBron, which I don't want to do. LeBron is the greatest athlete of his generation, period.
100%.
Period. That's hands down. To me, one of the GOATs. And I
Mount Rushmore kind of player.
Mount Rushmore.
Like you got the Mount Rushmore, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
No, 100%. So then look, let's keep it on basketball for a second.
Okay.
Aaron Gordon and D-Wade, how you feel about this whole little back and forth diss thing going on?
Man,
I think it's hilarious, bro.
I think it's so hilarious, bro. Like,
But in D-Wade's defense, we was talking about this off camera. When D-Wade gave him a 9 out of that 10, sure, Aaron Gordon, he might have jumped over the tallest dude in the gym, but it's like if you want the 10 and you jumping over somebody, you got to clear him. Like I don't care if Taco Fall is 7'7", whatever he is, you got to clear it if you want a 10, because a 10 signifies a perfect dunk. Like perfect, you had no flaws on the dunk. If you jump in and you not clearing them, it's not perfect. It's a great dunk. It's a 9. If I could give you a 9.5, I'll give you a 9.5. But if you're not clearing him, you got to give him a 9.
and you know,
That's how I feel.
I agree with that 100%. But I think the biggest problem is the format, the way that they did it.
You mean like kind of like this, the whole overtime dunking thing? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. adding the more to me, if they would have called it a draw, nobody would have been mad. After those first few dunks, if they would have just left it as a draw, nobody would have been mad.
And you know what's crazy? We got to give credit to the NBA because they're usually very, very well at staying on top of all their stuff and fixing what needs to be fixed. But this is like the second time already it's happened, and it's happened with the same player because, in my opinion, I feel like Aaron Gordon beat Zach LaVine. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Aaron Gordon. You know, bro, did you see what he did on a mascot, bro? Like, the mascot was on a whatever them little hoverboards. I forgot what it was called. You know what I'm talking about. You got to, like, balance on it. Like, Aaron Gordon was doing stuff we had never seen before, bro. Like, and I feel like Zach LaVine came back and was doing the same dunks. I feel like Aaron Gordon should have won that one. And then this one, you right, nobody will be mad if you gave him a tie, but it's like Derrick Jones is, that windmill like he was talking about.
That windmill was sick, bro.
That windmill was crazy.
That windmill was sick, and that's what makes it hard for me. On top of that, I'm a Heat fan, so shout out to D Wade for keeping it 100. You feel me? Like, hey, at the end of the day, he looked out for home team. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think the dunks that we saw were epic, and when you got two people doing epic dunks, I didn't feel like nobody needed to lose. I just felt like it was so good that nobody would have been upset. And then when you listen to Scottie Pippen, he said that was the goal. They voted. And what was supposed to happen was somebody was supposed to put a 9 to make the score a tie.
The tie.
And two people put a 9, and supposedly it was.
That's why they was talking about somebody messed it up, and everybody saying D Wade was the one who messed it up, huh?
And everybody put it on Wade, and Wade never really denied it. So that's why your boy Aaron Gordon went at him. So
went at D Wade.
It's funny to me. Like I said, if you haven't heard it, go check it out. It's hilarious. But
great dunk contest, by the way, man.
Great dunk contest, one of the best of all time. And who knows
that Vice jersey that Miami's wearing now? That's my favorite jersey in the whole NBA, bro. That jersey is ridiculous.
It's sick.
That Vice jersey. I feel like out of all the jerseys that teams create, not just Miami, I feel like the Vice jersey is probably the jersey that represents the city the best and like the culture in the city. Cause we're like a Vice city. This is a city that's more active at night. It's got that kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like if you go to South Beach, you see those kind of colors and stuff like that. All these teams come out with the city jersey. I feel like the LA one is pretty cool too. The Clippers one, they got the whole LA font, like I think it's like the Crip font or something like that, whatever it is.
But that's what gets me with the Heat jersey. I feel like I'm watching Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, the whole Vice City game. That's probably that had to be where they got it from, the whole Vice City game. Yeah,
definitely. But shout out to both of them guys, you know what I mean? Because like I said, Wade laughed it off. It was funny, he was drinking his wine in the diss track. Like if you look at the video, Aaron Gordon starts the video drinking Wade's wine. That's Wade's wine. So
Wade's cellar.
To me, it was all funny game. So shout out to Aaron Gordon for giving us something to laugh and talk about. Definitely.
Yeah. So. One last basketball topic before we switch over probably to music, because I want to save this whole social media thing for the end, because that's going to be a good talk. How do you feel? Originally, the date was May 1st. I'm reading on Bleacher Report now that they switched the date to May 8th to open their gyms back up. But, regardless, the NBA is going to open their gyms back up, right? How do you feel about them opening up the gym? And how close do you think the NBA is to opening or bringing the season back?
I think it's a mistake to rush.
Okay.
Because
real quick, when did the season end? Do you remember when the season ended?
No, not exactly.
All right, go ahead. I'm gonna look it up while you.
I know it was right about the time we did the podcast.
When we did the first
was watching it.
Yeah, you right. First day. You right.
Actually, we were watching it.
Yeah.
And to me, what bothers me is that the risk could be way more dangerous than the reward. If this is a disease or something that we don't know nothing about and we don't have enough knowledge about it, I don't think it's a need to rush.
Okay.
Now,
March 11th, by the way, was the day that they ended the season.
March 11th.
March 11th. So we come in on 2 months. May 11th will make 2 months.
And it's a touchy thing, because the minute somebody gets sick and God forbid somebody passed, then we're gonna look back at this and be like,
Karl Anthony Towns' mom, rest in peace, she already passed away from it.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But you also gotta also think about from the NBA's perspective, right? Because we all know, not just because they want to keep the fans in mind, but as a business, you want to salvage the season. You know what I'm saying? Because if you let the season go, it's a lot of money that's going down the drain. They already cutting 25% of NBA players' salaries already. So it's like, what's going to happen if they end the whole season, right? So now you got to look at the NBA. You got to think they got a window, right? Because I'm pretty sure the NBA is not worried about competing in terms of views and stuff like that and TV ratings. I'm pretty sure they're not concerned with competing with MLB ratings because, like, I think the average viewer, MLB viewer is like 57, something like that, 58. And it's like, come on. We like baseball, but it's like we know baseball doesn't compete with the other three sports. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I was talking with somebody earlier about baseball, which is funny because all of these other leagues are talking about playing with no fans, and I'm like, baseball does it all the time.
That's true. The NBA
games,
plays with no fans. You know,
how many baseball
MLB
games
plays with no
have you
fans
turned
anyways,
to,
man.
and the crowd's like empty, bro.
Yeah.
That happens all the time in baseball, which is funny.
But look, football season starts when? In I think September. I think August is preseason, right? And then September is when it starts. And they cut preseason down, I think, to 3 games. I don't know if you read that, but this past off season was still going. They cut it down to 3 games. So it's the NBA. They don't want to run into the NFL because we're big basketball fans, but there's a lot of people out there that are going to watch football over basketball any day. So the NBA, they want to try to reboot the season, which is probably why they're rushing, to your point. They want to try to reboot the season to try to give themselves enough time. I don't know if they plan to finish out the regular season or if they do. I think they should do is just start the playoffs because there's less than 20 games left, I think. If they feel like they need to resume the regular season, they could do that. But they got to leave themselves enough time where they could finish out the season, not have to shorten it, and not run into football. Because football's around the corner already. The draft was already this past week already.
Yeah, but even on that, to me, part of basketball and winning a championship is going through the gauntlet of the season and then making it through the playoffs. Do you feel that, let's say, LeBron or anybody else who wins championship will have an asterisk next to it? Because at the end of the day, this is not really a 100% season. So you can hear people say, oh, they're all facing the same challenges. Yes, they are. But at the end of the day, we all understand what it is to get on a run.
Yeah.
We all understand what it is to get hot.
Yeah.
So is it fair to say that this championship will hold the same value as a regular season championship?
It should. I feel like the only team that's going to have that if they win, which I think they will win, is the Lakers because LeBron is on there. And LeBron doesn't get fair treatment. But if the Clippers win, I don't think there's going to be nobody's going to say nothing.
And that's a fair argument.
Even if the Bucks win, I feel like it's not going to happen. And if it does, it won't be to the extent that it'll happen with the Lakers, bro.
Yeah, because if LeBron wins and the minute they say he's better than Kobe, I'm going to be the first one saying, well, hey, that season didn't count, so I just want to remind you, hey, I'm just being honest. But
yeah. Yes, hey, listen, it's going to happen, though. If they do resume the season and LeBron wins, which I think they will when the Lakers are going to win, that's going to be another argument. Because they always, listen, man, because what's going to happen is if the Lakers win, the MJ LeBron discussion is going to come up, just like it does after LeBron has a great playoffs every year. And then go immediately find something to discredit LeBron. They do that every year instead of crediting LeBron. You know what I mean?
Hey, so do you give Akeem Olajuwon and them credit for that year they won when Jordan retired?
I give them credit for it. But do I think they would have won if MJ was there? No.
See?
I don't think they would if MJ was there. No.
You know what's interesting about that? Most people don't know this, but
the Rockets still beat some good teams that year.
The Rockets always beat the Bulls.
They beat the Bulls, yeah, and they beat some great teams in the West that year. I think that was right around when the Sonics were becoming good with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp before he became Sean Klump, like Stephen A. always says. Hey. Magic were good at that time. They had Shaq and the crew. Like, there was still good teams around. The Knicks were good. They had Ewing and the whole team with Patrick Ewing, and then Pat Riley was the coach. So just because MJ wasn't around doesn't mean the league turned to trash. Like,
exactly.
They call it the golden age for a reason.
And I don't think a lot of people understand that back then it was a matchup problem for the Bulls.
The Bulls.
They didn't have nobody to guard Akeem.
Well, what's his name? Kukoc and come on, they ain't gonna stop Akeem.
They had nobody to stop. You had Akeem, Kenny Smith, Sam Cassell, Clyde. Like, bruh.
That was a team.
That was a team.
squad with what was that? I forgot their coach's name. They had a great coach too, a Hall of Fame coach. I can't remember his name right now.
I can't think of his name either, but I know who you're talking about.
Raw something. I can't remember his name right now.
Like that team there was stacked, and they matched up really good against the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
It was a bad matchup for the Bulls. The only thing is they never actually met in the finals.
Yeah.
I think they struggled with the Jazz, and they struggled against somebody else.
Oh, the Jazz is another
which
team
was a bad matchup for
the
them.
The Jazz were a great team too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that team too.
But when you look at it, a few different plays, and the Jazz could have beat the Bulls.
True.
If
MJ doesn't hit the shot, etc.
If Karl Malone doesn't fall asleep and let Jordan sneak from behind and steal the ball out his hand, I mean, hey, we talking about something different. But another great play by MJ, time he plays, so you got to give him credit for that. But yeah, man, I mean, a few bounces going the other way, and history has changed completely.
So crazy how basketball works that way. It's so crazy, man.
So crazy. I look at the Lakers in that Boston game. Where Kobe struggled from the field, but he had like crazy boards, all type of rebounds, steals, and he played his heart out, even though he didn't score much.
That's part of his greatness.
Yeah, and he found other ways to affect the game, but yet, even still, if Ron Artest doesn't hit those threes,
if Paul Gasol doesn't step up,
if Paul Gasol don't step up, we're talking about a whole nother set of history with Boston being back, beating them consecutively twice. You know what I mean? So. It's a lot that goes into it, but that's what I think it makes the game so great.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when you have a series like that, the best team wins. And it's not like they're playing one game and lose. They have to win a series.
Yeah.
And when you have a series, you get to see
the better team's gonna always win.
Considering
health, of course, because health is a given. But if everybody's the Warriors, you know what I mean. But if everybody's healthy, the better team is gonna always win. Even if you go into the series thinking one team is better than another, you're gonna see at the end of the series who's a better team. Pretty sure last year everybody thought the Bucks were the best team in the East, and they ran into the Raptors, and you saw the Raptors were the best team in the East because they were healthy. So better team's gonna always win for sure.
Always. And when you look at this season, I'm not sure there's a clear-cut better team.
Probably not.
But to start a season and jump into the playoffs might not be fair.
Okay.
I don't think because look at it this way.
A lot of variables you got to consider, man.
Well, if you take a team that has been together for the past 2 seasons, that has great chemistry.
You talking about the Bucks?
Raptors, Utah,
Denver, teams like that.
Yeah, Denver.
Yeah.
Would it be fair to put them in a situation with teams
like the Lakers and the Clippers?
Yeah, I really don't agree that it is. No matter how great LeBron is.
That's true.
I don't feel like, because you've played ball, you know, I don't feel chemistry is overlooked. And when you've played with people that you know how they're going to play in pressure situations, it's a big difference.
Big difference for sure.
I don't know that LeBron and KD and then AD have that yet. You know what I mean?
I feel like it'll affect. I feel like as a team and as a whole, I feel like it'll probably affect the Lakers more than a team like the Clippers. But if you want to dissect the 2 stars, I feel like the Clippers stars will feel an effect more than the Clippers. Problem is the Clippers, the team minus Kawhi and Paul George, that Clippers team has been together for, like that core is there. Doc Rivers is a Hall of Fame coach. That Lakers team was all put together in this offseason. The offset is that LeBron and AD are best buddies, so they can carry that roster. Kawhi and Paul George, they might be homies, but they don't exactly strike me as having like a LeBron and AD type relationship.
And then look at the bench for both teams. Whose bench would you say would be a better?
Clippers.
You know what I mean? And
Clippers,
I think that's what it really boils down to, because when you take LeBron out the game, and I'm a firm believer, and I don't know why nobody has done this yet, but and I always bring this back to Kobe. I only know one person to score 81 points in a game. And if you let LeBron do his thing, you still should win if you control everybody else.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer that if I was the other coach against LeBron, he's going to have 60.
You need to worry about everybody else.
And I'm worried about everybody else.
Everybody else,
I understand what LeBron's going to bring to the table, because I refuse to believe that an athlete in today's game,
you can't stop LeBron,
can keep that up for a 5-game series.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible. The energy that it takes, Kobe will tell you, he was dead after that 81-point game.
That's why Kobe, and because he did that for a long stretch of his career, that's why Kobe started breaking down towards the end of his career.
He was gassed. When he tore his ACL, he was leading the league in scoring
And
at that age.
Yeah, and when he tore his Achilles too,
That's what I mean. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Achilles.
the
When he
Achilles,
tore
yeah.
his Achilles, they were on a win streak.
and
trying
he
to
wasn't
make the
young
playoffs.
either, bro. He was like, I
No.
think 32, maybe. I might be wrong.
I
But he was
think
in his
older
30s
than
already.
that. And he was leading the league in minutes
In
and
minutes,
points when it happened. Now, you put LeBron in a playoff series and ask him to score 60 points a game every night. Come on, man. By game 6 or 7, bro, any man, I don't care how much you train, that's
You don't
a
need
lot.
Danny Green to drop a 40 bomb or something.
You're going to need that. And I don't think that that's, a strategy that has been put into play completely, because if you look at when he played the Warriors, he was averaging 30 to 40 points a game.
That's
It was
probably, in my
ridiculous.
opinion, that's the best LeBron we've seen. Like, all the versions of LeBron, I think the LeBron that played those Warriors teams, those 4 years or however long it was,
And that's
I think that's the best version of himself. Bro.
and
LeBron was unbelievable
And that was 4 years ago.
4 years ago. That was a while ago, yeah.
So you're asking him to do that again, I think is a lot.
Because I'm a believer, if Kyrie is healthy, Cavs win that first series in 2015. Because Kyrie went down in game 1. The second year, Cavs won. After that, they added KD. There wasn't really much they could do after that. That was 2K in real life. But the thing is, right, you watch the Lakers play, and even at this age, LeBron is still giving you similar, if not the same production he was giving you before, right? But this is where the importance of a good team or a good roster comes into play, because LeBron is going to do what LeBron's going to do in the playoffs, right? And I believe that AD is going to do what AD is going to do because he's that great of a talent. But those two guys cannot beat a team like the Clippers or the Bucks by themselves. That doesn't mean you need your role players to be amazing every night, though. You need Danny Green to come in and hit 6 threes once in a whole series. That's all you need. You need another game where Rondo gives you 10 assists. You're going to win those games, or you're going to be in those games. If you can stay in those games, I have faith in guys like LeBron and AD that they could pull out enough wins to get past in the series.
You sold on AD?
Am I sold on AD? I am sold on AD. Let me tell you why. So, assuming that they're going to run into the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, right? The Clippers, man for man, have no answer for Anthony Davis.
They shouldn't. You're right. They
Don't have an answer for Anthony Davis. They're going to have to pull a whole team defense to stop Anthony Davis. And that's only going to favor LeBron because it's going to take a lot of pressure off of LeBron. The Bucks, I don't believe in the Bucks because I'm not going to believe in the Bucks, and I'm not going to believe in Giannis until Giannis gets a jumper that I could have faith in.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just so much more talented than everybody else that the talent is getting him here. But you saw when he ran into a guy like Kawhi who actually knew how to guard a guy who can't shoot, he became basically nothing. So I'm not going to believe in the Bucks until Giannis can get a jumper. But I am sold on AD because of the fact that I don't think there's anybody out there who can stop AD.
I agree, except for I feel like the only person who can stop AD is AD.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because
And
you look at it from the other side, there are, the Clippers, their argument is, oh, well, we're going to get physical with him, and that's fair because he's not exactly the healthiest of guys. That's
Bingo.
So it's true when you say,
Because
only guy who can stop AD is AD.
his mentality too as well. I need him to be more mean. And when I say mean, not to where how we say we need LeBron to be mean, no, because LeBron has proven himself.
Yeah.
AD hasn't proved himself to me in those pressure situations that he wants to be that guy, and him shying away from the moment for LeBron to me would be a problem. I need him to come into the series feeling like the man. And I feel like if he comes in with that mentality, he'll be fine.
So you need AD to have a series where he plays better than LeBron?
Yes.
Okay.
I need AD to have a few dominant games in the playoffs
That's
where
fair.
he's not in the shadow of LeBron.
That's fair.
Where he actually is that man in those series for them to be able to win a championship.
Okay.
Because something about AD that's just, I haven't seen the proven. I haven't seen nothing that would prove to me that he's that dude in the clutch.
Okay.
And it's unfair to say that LeBron has to be that dude at this age in every series that they will be in, because
That's the whole
this
reason
is the
they
West.
got AD for.
That's the reason they got. This is not like the East where when he was with the Cleveland, we knew that LeBron was, when you played Indiana and we got in the clutch, it was LeBron.
It was LeBron.
You played Toronto, you got in the
was
clutch,
LeBron.
it was LeBron. You
Yeah.
played Boston, you got in the clutch, it was LeBron. That can't happen in the West.
Especially not at his age, bro.
No, not against these teams.
They're too
And
good.
They're too good. If I need him to not come out like Chris Bosh, And I love Chris Bosh. Don't get it twisted. But even Chris will tell you it was hard playing with LeBron.
Yeah,
he said
man.
it himself.
It requires a lot.
Kevin Love said it. It was
Love as
hard.
well.
They all play the same position. They all had to change their games. One thing in the regular season, in the playoffs, when the pressure's on and you're going against the same team
For
every
2
night,
weeks.
and this team is studying you and knowing everything you do, I need AD to show up and say, I got it.
No such thing as bad nights in the playoffs,
No,
bro. You can't have those.
And if you have a bad shooting night, you got to show up somewhere else. You need to have
Somewhere,
23
yeah.
boards. You need to have 5-6 blocks, key
yeah.
blocks,
Got to hit your free throws too.
free throw. You know what I mean? All of that.
AD is a good
because
free throw shooter though.
It's one of those things to where, I need to see him do all of that, and he has to stay healthy
Big time.
because he has a lot of games where he get banged up. He gets these fluke injuries.
Gotta
and
miss
he
might gotta
comes
miss a
out.
few games. Yeah, I think this little quarantine thing is good for both of them though.
Oh man, definitely.
For LeBron and AD, just rest. But you gotta look on the other side. It's good for the other teams too, like the Clippers, who I think it's just low management, but they're gonna tell you that it's their players being hurt. But regardless, everybody should be coming out of this healthy. There should be no reason that somebody's coming out of this hurt. If you coming out of this hurt, something is wrong with you.
Man,
You're not taking care of yourself the right way, or you working out the wrong way, or not, or too much. You're doing something off. Cause you having 2 months, probably 3, with the way this is looking. You gonna have a few months. You get in the off season in the middle of the season, basically.
and that's where I said that I was surprised though with the gyms and the working out, because just as well as I know, they're all not hitting it like they need to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to show up, because if you're not training like
That's
how
a big
you've
point,
been
yeah.
training,
That's a good one. Yeah.
and you try to go ham and then go into the playoffs,
We're gonna see who's been working and who
we're
hasn't been
going to
working.
see who's been working, who been lollygagging, who been TikToking, and
Yep.
and
Who been playing Call of Duty too
you
much.
like they got these ESPN tournaments. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we're gonna see
Only players who get a pass for playing in the tournaments are KD and John, the hurt guys, bro.
The hurt guys.
Those are the only guys who get a pass, bro, or the guys who not gonna be in the playoffs, like Trae Young and stuff like that. But if you competing in the playoffs right now, I don't want to see you. I don't need to be seeing you on Call of Duty. I need to see you in the gym, bro.
I'm telling you,
Because when the
man.
season comes back, I'm gonna know whether you've been in the gym or not.
Oh, you're gonna tell. It's gonna be
I'ma
real
know.
fast.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see which teams immediately have been on their game.
Yeah.
A game, definitely. So, that's just one of those things that I can't wait to see. I'm excited for it, but I still, stand by my statement of, I want them to be cautious and not rush the
Yeah, the
season,
safety is the most important thing to the players, bro.
because it
That
could
makes you
be
the money right
really, really tragic if
Player dies.
something
God
happens.
forbid,
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's switch it up. We talked a lot of basketball. We big hip hop heads, bro. And I know you're a little bit more of an old school dude than I am, even though I love old school.
Bruh,
How do you feel about this whole old school versus new school narrative? They say basketball and hip hop is synonymous, and they say that they go together. Old school hip hop or new school hip hop? Who you got?
See, you put me up on this, and this is one thing that I had to understand.
I had new school, by the way.
The problem I have with new school is that they need to separate the
A little more.
titles
Okay.
because what people call mumble rap, right? I don't like. You may not like.
No, I'm not really a
But
big fan
people
of it.
do like. To me,
There's a market for that. For
it's
sure.
a market for that.
For sure.
So for me to sit here and down a artist for doing that, which is there's a absolute market for, is not fair. That's no different from me liking country or not liking country. You know what I mean? It's just a different type of music. Now, I think the problem is that they all call it hip hop and rap.
Okay. That's
When
fair.
you try to
When
call,
it's probably not all hip hop.
no,
Yeah.
it should. This generation should have their own
own
name,
genre.
their
Yeah.
own genre. Whatever you guys want to call it, it should be that. But to try to call it hip hop, to me, is where the problem comes in, because when you have an old school head say that this is not real hip hop,
He's got a point.
he's got a point. He's not lying. It's not real hip hop.
Because the foundations of hip hop were writing. You know what I'm saying? That's something I pride myself on in my music is lyrics, bro. Because lyrics resonate with people, man. Like even mumble lyrics, bro. That stuff, people listen to that, bro. Whether they have a talent or an eye for dissecting which one is better is a different discussion. But they all listen to lyrics, whether it's a hook, whether it's super complicated stuff. So when old school has talk about, oh, this isn't hip hop, they're not trying to discredit your music and say it's not not real music. They're trying to say that it's not what hip hop was founded on. You know what I'm saying? Because you got guys like Young Thug, Travis Scott. You know, in my opinion, those are good artists. They make good music. But as rappers, those guys are not. Their pens are not what they're known for.
Exactly.
Those guys were very intelligent in knowing that there's a whole different market that I could better cater to than, you know, this so-called hip-hop market. Because guys like Travis Scott and Lil Uzi and Playboi Carti, those guys are not going to appeal to an old-school hip-hop head.
Exactly.
But they know that there's a market with younger people that are going to love that stuff, that are going to care a little bit more about how the music makes them feel rather than think about what they're saying. And they went ahead and did that stuff. You know what I mean? So I feel like new school hip-hop is a little bit more impactful than old school hip-hop was, only because new school, or we'll just say music, instead of saying hip hop. I feel like it's a little bit more impactful because it's reaching more people than it used to.
Now,
it's becoming a lot more widely accepted than it used to, like let's say back in the 90s or 2000s. You know
yeah, now I give you that because of the simple fact of the advancements of, you know, technology and everything, and the way that we listen to music all over the world, and cell phones, and you got music on your phone now. Back in the day, you didn't have that.
You got to go to the store. And
yeah, we actually used to go into the music store and play it from there. We would sit in Specs music store with our headphones, you know,
plugged into the little thing. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? Listening to the album.
I used to do that as a kid.
But to me, when you start talking about impact, you know, it's a touchy thing because hip hop at the time was a way of us expressing ourselves, and the impact that it had was that it gave us a voice. The problem is that now you have people who don't care that they have a voice. They're just trying to make music for
the money, maybe
the money or whatever reason they have, but it's impactful because of how many people it could touch and reach. But some of the music doesn't really have the same impactful meaning.
Now let me tell you this though, you're right about the music maybe not having impact, right? But a lot of artists are starting to realize they can have that same impact without having to do it through the music. You see people like Kanye, right? Kanye over the years is slowly becoming a little bit less worried about music, and he's becoming more worried about selling his Yeezys and selling his brand, which is good.
Yeah.
He just recently became a billionaire a few days ago, or he says 3.3 billion, whatever. So a lot of artists, you got guys like Travis Scott. I don't know, like Travis Scott did the whole concert on Fortnite. That was unheard of back in the 90s. For them, it was straight lyrics. It wasn't even possible. So a guy like Travis Scott, he could still have the same impact as a guy like, let's say, I don't know, old school legend, right? But he doesn't have to do it through his music. He can do it through stuff that people because of social media now, we can pay attention to more stuff than just the music, and artists are starting to realize that.
But see, are we looking at that as influence or impact?
I'm looking at that as influence more than impact.
Yeah. I would probably say it's more of an influence now because we had songs that changed the world.
Yeah.
Type.
Now you
have songs that reach the world.
That's big.
You know what I mean? We have songs that reach the world. This
like
song
Tootsie
stays
Slide.
in your head.
Like Tootsie Slide.
Yeah.
Tootsie Slide is reaching the world, but it's not gonna change the world. Let's be fair.
Me?
Like, I love Drake, but let's be fair.
You know what I mean? Like it's certain songs that growing up, man. Like let's go with Tupac for instance. I haven't heard a Brenda's Got a Baby
songs
in
like
this
those.
generation.
Okay. All right, last topic before we wrap it up. We had a good podcast today, by the way, man.
No, definitely, man, definitely.
But like I was saying, like I told you off camera, I was on IG a few days ago. I was just, doing what I normally do, just scrolling through, just, keeping a temperature on the culture and like what people are doing, especially now. And something caught my attention. It was nothing grand. It wasn't a big post or anything like that. It was just me paying close attention and I realized that a man and a woman could do the exact same post and the reactions are going to be completely different. Like I was telling you, a man could post a picture shirtless and everybody going to get at him because, oh, you got your tats in the wrong place or you don't got the six pack or whatever it is, right? And then a woman posts the same one and she get all these heart eye emojis, and it made me ask myself, who has it worse on social media? Is it men or women? So how do you feel about, where both sides stand?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I have a lot of opinions when it comes down to things like that because, especially with me being a teacher and coach, I've always wondered, and You know, maybe when I get a 6-pack, I might be different. But it's weird for me when I see guys walking around drenched in sweat, pants hanging down, around young girls. You know, like in the parks and stuff, in the basketball court.
It's not a good look.
To me, it's weird because you're drenched in sweat. You're pretty much new. If a girl was to do that, you know what I mean, it gets taken different. You know what I mean? Number one, she would be looked at as, why you doing this? You're this and that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it has a different message. Now, let's go to social media, for example. Social media, dudes can go and you can see a page where, let's say it's a thick girl.
Okay.
Right? In BBW. If she looks nice and, you know, she posts a picture or whatever, you get the girls who be like, oh, work it, you know, girl, you know, she got confidence, all of that.
Yeah.
But let a big dude do some of that. If he's not being funny with it, everybody's like, oh, you need to put a shirt on, or you need to do this, you need to do that.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes I think it's a double standard with that, and I don't think they understand the pressure they put on the guys. Because just like how women always say, oh, you have to look this way and you got to look this way. Look at how women act when a nice guy takes his shirt off. Women act crazy.
Yeah. Same
You know
way
what I
guys
mean?
would if a girl.
You know?
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't, you know, ever acknowledge that fact that, yeah, it's different because the reactions are different. The reactions that a woman gets when she does certain things. For instance, to me, a lot of these girls who be on here twerking and doggone nude on Instagram have a lot of young followers, which I have a problem with. I've always had a problem with that. When I see a girl who's twerking on a young boy, people don't realize it, but that's some of the stuff R. Kelly is being charged with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Stuff similar to that.
Like, if you look up one of R. Kelly's charges, which is crazy, I don't want to get too far off the subject, but one of R. Kelly's charges is that he paid a girl who was 17 years old to dance for him and his homeboys.
Wow.
That was the charge.
That's crazy.
That he paid a girl who was 17 years old, underage, to dance. She accepted the money and willingly danced. Now, when you look at how these girls have these dudes and these girls would be twerking on these young boys and women would be playing, that's my little boyfriend, and
Yeah.
Isn't that the same thing?
That's close to it, I feel like, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't mean to get too far off subject, but it's the same perception that when one sex does one thing, it's valued differently from the other. Like, there was, when they had this whole Popeyes thing going on, we know the Popeyes wars with the chicken
with
sandwich.
the sandwiches, yeah.
There was a girl who painted herself in body paint, butt naked, but spray painted the Popeyes all over herself and went into Popeyes. Now, what if a dude did that?
Stupid, yeah. He painted like around his dick or something
Yeah.
like that, bro. He getting arrested on the
He
spot.
getting arrested.
He getting arrested on the spot, but a girl is okay.
She walked in twerking on Popeye with the Popeyes logo spray painted, body paint. We all know what body paint. She's naked. If a dude do that, it's perverted.
He getting arrested.
He's arrested. You know what I mean? Same thing on social media. The perception is so different. Like, you know, like for so many different things. And I think sometimes we forget that, hey, it needs to be a standard for everybody. You know what I mean? Like certain things is not allowed or should not be allowed. You know what I mean? But
because look, if let's say let's look at it from, let's flip it, right? Because we were talking about how a guy will get arrested for it, right? Let's say this girl, right? She doing a vlog, right? Let's say this is girl, she doing a YouTube vlog. She just be filming her day, right? Guys do that too. They just film vlogs because they just like putting out content, right?
Yep.
If a guy puts out that video, the comments and the people in the comments are gonna be talking about stuff in the video. They're gonna be like, "Oh, nice car," or they're gonna be like, "Dang, I like the way you got your room set up," or "Dang, look at where him and his homies just be chilling," etc., etc. A girl puts that, the comments is gonna be the whole time about how good she look.
Yeah.
They're not gonna talk about what she's doing. They're not gonna talk about what she's talking about. Is gonna be like, "Dang, your makeup is on fleek," etc., etc. Boys and girls gonna say that. So that's why it's a double standards is a good way to put it, bro. Because guys get arrested for doing that stuff at a Popeyes, but then when a girl goes on a vlog, nobody wants to talk about what she's talking about. the girl knows that if she goes and she twerks, y'all gonna give her attention. But when she going on YouTube, she doing her vlog stuff, y'all don't want to talk about that. You just want to talk about how she look.
And that's another thing as well. Like, I think, and I don't think it's just the dudes. I think that other girls have allowed that to be the standard.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you're right. A girl could be sitting there talking about something, and we as people are more likely to share some negativity than we share positivity.
100%.
Like, at the end of the day, if we were on here doing this show and we had a stripper sitting here around the table dancing,
Nobody gonna give a damn what we saying.
nobody would care what we dancing, and we probably would have a lot more followers and more likes or whatever than what we get now. But that's not our goal. You know what I mean? And to me, because everybody knows that sex sells, they play into it just because of that, and then they lack the knowledge or thinking of what's right or wrong. And at the end of the day, you are responsible for the image and what you put out there. And if a girl decides that she wants to go and, let's say, do a vlog, and she wants to be 100% professional and beautiful and not,
there's some very intelligent women out there, bro.
She should get the same respect
That a
as
man
the
gets,
same
for
girl
sure.
who's up there twerking for no reason. Because to me, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna tell whoever wants to hear it, any girl who sits around all day long with a twerking in front of the camera, I feel like something's wrong with you. And I'm talking about the mindset of setting up the camera.
That's her standard.
But even not even the standard. You know how much work that is for no reason?
You're not bringing no value.
To set the camera up, put the phone a certain way, to just turn around and shake your ass in front of the camera. For what? Because it's not like this is what you need to do to make yourself famous. I mean, you're not doing anything by doing it, like, other than getting a whole bunch of likes.
Not profiting in any way.
You're not profiting of it. Do not think that all of these girls are profiting. Some of them are trying to sell what they can, but the majority of them
That's what they've been taught, majority
just to do it.
Yeah.
They're doing it just to do it.
And the girl who could be on her vlog talking about something interesting is bringing you so much more value, and eventually could find ways to profit off of that. Because followers has become like the main ROI nowadays, right? Bro, the girl who got 40K followers off of her vlog, and a girl who twerks and got $2.2 million off of her vlog, I'm bet you right now the girl with 40,000 followers got so much more money in her bank, bro, and got so much more important people on her phone than the girl twerking.
Definitely.
It's all about perception, bro.
It's 100% about perception, man. And that's what people tend to look at, is what they think is the perception of a person who's successful. That a person that's successful has to have this many views, this many likes.
It's not true at all.
I've always said, if you can't translate that into money, it's pointless.
Don't matter at all.
Yep. And I know people who have 15, 20,000 followers, but can't get 30 people to show up for them. You know, so if you can't get 30 people to show up for you, then what is the point? You know what I mean? Other than saying I have a booming Instagram account, that's pointless to me. I think that we need to have more substance, but I think people need to appreciate more substance as well. Because it's one thing to say, I don't like to see this and like to see that, but then yes, that's what everybody's sharing. You know, like I can tell you right now, I look at my phone, and even my homeboys, a lot of them share stuff with me that I'm like, I wouldn't look for my own.
Brings you no value.
I look at it like, okay, whatever, but it's not something that I would search for or look for it on my own. It gets to the point to where it's like, why don't we share stuff that's positive? Why don't we share stuff that's gonna bring up my brother or my sister? Like, let's share stuff that's gonna help them, or stuff that's positive, or stuff that just has the a good vibe. Because a lot of times we put negativity into stuff and we don't realize it. Like, when you send somebody something, you're sharing negativity. I'm putting this into your spirit, something that you might not have even been thinking about. You know what I mean? Like, if I could show you something and somebody getting their head chopped off, you wasn't thinking about that.
Definitely not.
You know what I mean? But I done shared it to you and put it in your spirit, in your mind. You know what I mean?
And you know what it's doing? Not to cut you off, but it's creating a perception for people who don't look for stuff. It's creating a perception that there's more negativity in the world than positivity, and that's not true, man.
I'm so glad you said that, bro.
Yo, look at, it's so many athletes that do like charities and stuff like that do such and such, right? But all that's gonna be trending on Twitter is what stupid shit Trump said, bro.
Bro, you hit it on the head right there. I've showed people stories on YouTube because when I'm on YouTube, I search everything.
Yeah. YouTube University.
Cats saving little kids' lives.
Yeah.
You know, a little cat saved the little boy life from a dog. You know what I mean? Like, a white person about to jump off a bridge and a black guy stopped over there and helped them. You know what I mean? Nobody talks about this stuff. Everybody talks about negativity, and I even talk about this with my students. It's no coincidence that when a black man gets shot by the police, the news runs it 1,000 times because they know that African Americans are going to respond to it in a way that gets views, uproar, and
ratings,
everything else.
the
ratings and all this other stuff.
Yep.
White people get shot all the time. Spanish people get shot all the time. Cops kill both by accident. A murder is a murder.
Yeah.
But you will not hear about the majority of these murders because they know that white people are not going to go marching about it. It's just not going to happen. If Mexicans or anybody else try to do an uproar, they're not going to cover it. Because they know that if we do it, if it happens to an African American, it's on every news station. Because racism in America is a story.
Yeah.
Negativity in America is a story. It could be 1,000 positive things going on today. The news is only going to report one.
The coronavirus is all you see on the news right now, bro.
They're going to show you everything.
They showing you.
They
I was telling my mom this the other day because my mom, she's recently been watching the news, right? And I tried to tell her the other day, I'm like, Ma, stop watching the news. And she's like, why you want me to stop watching the news? And I'm like, because they're saying the same thing they were saying yesterday. They're going to tell you the same thing tomorrow. The only difference is the numbers going to keep growing. And she was like, oh, well, I got to be aware. And I was like, stay in the house and wash your hands. That's all you need to know. They know that the ratings are going to rise if they show you the amount of deaths. They don't want to show you the amount of recoveries and the amount of doctors that are saving lives. Rather, they just want to show you the deaths because they know that's going to get them the ratings.
I looked at it the other day. I think it was, don't quote me on these numbers, people, and I don't know if you could pull it up. But the total death look up the total death of the coronavirus. And you can even look up worldwide.
All right, so worldwide, this is updated less than an hour ago. This is on Google News, bro. So, all right, so this is right here. Confirmed around the world, we got 3 million cases confirmed, right? Deaths, we have 213,000, roughly, a few, give or take a few hundred, right? We have almost 1 million recovered, and nobody's talking about the 1 million recovered.
Thank you.
They only talk about the 213 deaths. Now, don't get me wrong. It sucks that 213,000 people die. I'm not trying to say we should just completely ignore that. But it's when you only put out 213,000 people dying, you giving people no hope at all. You making them think this is going to last forever.
Yeah, and on top of that, now I want you to look up how many people died from smoking cigarettes.
More, bro.
Last year.
Probably more. I'm willing to bet you it's more.
Last time I checked, it was 400 and something.
Because look, bro, it's 3 million confirmed, almost 1 million recovered. You have almost a third of people that got it recovered, bro. Instead, you just want to talk about the people who died.
How many people was dying from the flu already around the world?
Yeah, exactly.
If you look up these numbers, and we're not even finna go through, because I want you guys to do it. Look up these numbers, and you're gonna be like, hold up. The number, don't quote me on it, but I think it was like 400 and something thousand people died from cigarette smoking, and they still sell cigarettes.
People still buy them.
Somebody argued with me and said, "Oh, well, that's a choice. The coronavirus is not a choice." Yeah, but then another 42,000 died from secondhand smoke.
That's all. That's a choice. Majority of those are a choice. You have a few rare cases where it's not, but majority of those are a choice.
But when you talk about secondhand smoke, that's people who's around the people who's not even choosing to smoke, and they're dying, and people still say it's not even a story. You don't see the news ever talking about cigarettes. You don't never see the news ever discussing the deaths of cigarettes. You don't see the news discussing the deaths of a lot of other things.
Because they know they're going to feed into buying the product anyways.
The reality of it is the coronavirus is the best story going. Let's run it.
Whether it's positive or not.
Whether it's positive. And now I've even seen stories to where they're inflating the numbers. Where, in other words, if somebody dies, they're putting that it was a coronavirus when it doesn't necessarily have to be.
Oh, wow.
And I've seen several stories of that. I don't know how true it is. So, but I've seen these stories, and if that is true, can you imagine how misleading all of this whole process could possibly be?
Yeah.
So that's basically saying that, and there are people who you can search these videos. Like I said, I don't know if they're true or not, but there's videos of people and doctors saying that they were told to put cause of death, coronavirus.
Oh, I think I read that story.
You know what I mean?
think
Cause
I
of
did,
death.
yeah.
If you had a respiratory infection or something like something
I
like,
think I read it on one of those IG
they
pages.
categorized it as a coronavirus death,
Yeah.
which is technically not the case. You know, when you look at the facts,
Especially if you can't prove that that's what caused it.
if you can't prove that that's what caused it.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you look at all of this and then you hear the whole thing with the timing and politically, and you know, you pray that it's not all a lie and misleading. And when I say a lie, I'm not saying that people are not dying from this. What I'm saying is that the reasons behind it, where the virus came from, how many people are actually infected, how dangerous it really is. If all of this has a different motive other than what it really is, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
And there's a big problem. Because this is something that fear controls people.
100.
And when you have the world, not just United States, the world in fear of something that can possibly not be 100% factual, that is scary.
Could be worse. And they don't know it. Yeah.
Definitely, bro.
That's crazy. I think that's a good place to end it off, though, man. We
Yeah,
had a
man.
hell of a good podcast. Our first full episode, man. This was a good one. We had a lot of good stuff to talk about, which is kind of ironic because there's nothing really else to talk about other than the virus. But hopefully the world keeps giving us stuff to talk about because I'm not trying to talk about the coronavirus all day.
Not at all, man. And those of you who actually dealing with it, we praying for you. I hope you guys make it through because it's nothing like losing somebody through anything. You know what I mean? So, you know, continue to be safe. They had a party. Somebody posted a party that they threw. People, a party is not worth your
that's not the way
life
to go right
now.
now.
It's not smart. To me, you putting yourself, your family, and everybody else at risk, whether you believe it or not. It's not worth it. You know what I mean? Like, and me and Cicero talked about taking this time to better yourself and, you know, be on something else. You know what I mean? Like, other than wasting time. You know what I mean? And there's no need to be putting yourself at any risk other than trying to better yourself.
Yeah, man. A lot of people using the coronavirus as an excuse to be locked up in their house, bro. When in reality, you have an opportunity to come out of this better than the way you went into it. So it's perception, man. It's all about how you look at it, man.
Yep. And like always, you can find me more live than you. Instagram, Rondell Force, aka the Bakerboy.
You can find me on IG, Young Cicero, YOUNGCR or CICERO 2 O's. Don't you
Straight
forget.
deposit.
Yeah.
Flow element in sick bay. Polo on me like I'm Big Zay. Tighten up, that's what the kids say. Smoke another spliff by midday. I cry straight for like 6 days. Then I heard him say, tighten up, move fast and make big plays.